Welcome back to the Raw Uncovered Truth of the Awakened Soul with Nicole and Christy. And before I pass it over to Christy, I just want to address that yes, March energy has been what I would say is astronomical and off the charts. And we will be touching on that. And we will be giving a little bit of suggestions on what to do, what to take, and how to kind of shake off the energy and just kind of flow into it and move it gracefully throughout your body as gracefully as you can. And now I'm going to pass it over to Christy for our angel message for today.
Hi, everybody. Yes, the energy is just out of control, and we will get into that. But first, let's start with the angel message. It is time to embrace the journey by stepping out of the shadows of fear, doubt, and limitations. Let go of what no longer serves you. Allow your true spirit to shine. As you walk away from the darkness that has kept you hidden, you step into the light of your soul, where your authentic self flourishes. Embrace your inner strength, wisdom, and love. Let these qualities guide you towards your life purpose and fulfillment. Trust that the light within you is powerful enough to illuminate the path you choose to take forward. Affirmation. I am fearless in my journey of self-discovery. I release all that no longer serves me, and I embrace my true essence. My soul's light guides me towards a life of purpose and fulfillment. I am strong, wise, and full of love. I trust the brilliance within to illuminate my path and lead me to my highest potential.
That is gorgeous, actually, for today. Like gorgeous, like in general, but I love that for today. It definitely touches on, the fact of, loving on yourself, finding your shadows, kind of dealing with everything and evolving. And I really like that. Kind of goes with
It definitely goes with the energy that's going
goes with
on.
March.
Good old March.
Oh God, I don't even know where to start and where to begin.
It's funny. I
Go ahead.
knew March. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
good.
I knew March was going to be a transition phase, and we had talked about this, but I didn't realize how much of a transition phase March was actually going to be.
Yeah. So we're laughing because we are experiencing March knee deep in the crazy aspects of it. So so obviously we're here with you. And again, your spiritual path is should not be one of a serious one. You should never take it so serious. It should be self-loving, self-caring, laughing a lot of things off. And just, being carefree and genuine. So there's so much stuff written down that I need to share, but I don't even know where to start. Let's start off with March and the themes for March that seem to be happening, which is, it's about deleting, your old version of yourself, like everything that's old, everything that's stuck. Major releasing this month. You're gonna have shadows come up, betrayal, sadness, any old wounds of abandonment, old fears, crying out of nowhere, which I was even getting, and I haven't even cried in a while. So there's that. You have to really feel it to heal it. It's all about detaching. The uptake in energy right now is it's just it's so I don't even know. It's
Potent. It's so potent.
words cannot describe the energy right now. You really can't. It's really you really have to be very not self-conscious because you don't want to be overly, like conscious of yourself, but be overly conscious of the self-love that you're giving yourself. How about that? If we put it that way, is that a good way to word it? Like
Yes.
you definitely have to have a significant amount of compassion for yourself and self-love and self-care at this time. You could be experiencing ridiculous headaches, and I'm talking about headaches on a level where I wouldn't even like explain it or define it as a headache. It's just it is a headache, but it's something more astronomical than just a
Yeah,
physical headache.
I feel like it's through the pressure points, like in every pressure point or like third eye chakra, the back of my neck. I told Nicole this morning, I woke up this morning and I said, I feel like somebody went and just kicked me right in the back of the right side of my neck. And it's been so much pain. And I know you've been experiencing the headaches as well.
Yeah, they've been great. I don't even know if I would explain it as a headache. I mean, it's just it, and yeah, I mean, it's your crown chakra, your third eye. Um, it's just so unbelievably intense where I couldn't even open my eyes. And I've had migraines before. I mean, these are just it is even, more intense than that. There's and it's and you're feeling it all over your body. You're feeling, rashes, dry skin. I mean, I've had rashes. If you could actually see me, like I have rashes all over, all over my entire skin, trying to process out energy. Since March, and I have to laugh about it because it's truly it's crazy, and it's something that um, it's not logical. There's no logical explanation for it, which makes it even more funny because, naturally your human self is looking, your ego self is looking for the logical explanation when there is none. So I'm gonna say, like, symptoms that you may be experiencing right now. Hot flashes coming in one, two, three. It's like your entire body gets hot, or certain parts of your body are getting hot, and then they're just going away when you actually realize what's going on. Tension points in your arms, in your body, your stomach could be like way off. Your throat, it may feel like right now, I do not have a sore throat, but it feels like something is stuck in my throat. So, dehydration symptoms, again, dry skin, rashes, headaches, anything that like just feels weird that you're not used to. Total, receiving of energy and clearing out is transmuting, and ascending is, well, basically what you're doing. Drink a lot of liquid, drink a lot of filtered water, herbal teas. Try to shake out anything that feels stuck. So whenever your body feels like it needs to shake it out, right? Like shake out your arms, shake out your legs, go for a run, go for a walk, do spin. Yoga, not so much because you're not moving as well. That's more to release the stuck emotions that you have in your body. Right now, I would suggest you do something as far as even laying still. And even when you're laying still, like I was jolted to move because I was like knocked on my ass, and I was still like moving certain parts of my body to move the energy out. Anything like even lifting light weights right now, even for the the masculines and feminines, just move and shake out your body, like jump up and down, dance around, like, all that stuff. Things that you should be taking, as far as the spiritual community is concerned, is, and I hope I say this right, ashwagandha. uh
Ashwagandha.
yeah, it's my new favorite. Up your magnesium if you can.
Yes.
Spirulina, chlorella, I think it's
I know. I never
chlorella.
say that one right
I know,
either.
neither do I. And Moringa, I think it's called. I'm gonna write them down in the description, so like
Yeah.
nobody, like don't judge me on that. Also, up your garlic intake, turmeric, cayenne pepper, like all of those boost the immunity. Literally, you could be feeling nauseous and sick to your stomach 1 minute, and then 5 seconds from now, be in a whole different aspect. Like right now, my legs are getting hot. Don't ask why, but I'm sure that it's gonna dissipate in a little while. The March energy has totally been insane. It's not over. It's far from over. You have the eclipse season starting next week on the 14th, with the Mercury retrograde following on the 15th right after that.
And there's a full moon too, right? Isn't the full moon on Friday the
Yeah,
14th?
that's the full moon. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Fun, fun, fun. Um, but yeah, there's no words. So if you're experiencing anything out of the ordinary, totally, message us, because, we're here experiencing it like a multitude. And it's just hilarious at this point because it really truly is. April and May, I will say this, will be a lot more of kind of just sitting in our energy and like embracing the energy versus a lot of the clearing out of what March is bringing us. March is definitely going to be continuously interesting and fun and bounce up and down. But again, those are my suggestions of what to take. And obviously, consult a doctor if you would like to. I personally don't because I personally know there's no logical explanation for this. So it's just kind of going along with the flow and, taking what I can and moving forward in this energy of March. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I got.
that was good. I think that you touched base on everything that we need to be taking intake lots and lots of water. March is all about release. We are releasing things out of our body that have been stuck. We are releasing old patterns, people. There's going to be a lot of release of people going
Yes.
through the month of March. And we need to do this as a collective in order to continue to level up our energy. So we are going through a full energy process. And the process always begins by the release, right? We have to release these things out of our body in order to move forward. So then, like Nicole was saying, come April and May, we can receive. So this is a big release. It's a very huge earthly release right now. There's a lot of purging going on. And if you are a healer or a light worker, you're going to feel the release even more because you're not only feeling your own release, you're feeling the collective and everybody around you's release. And as we all know, there's a lot right now, a lot of negative energy spiraling through the earth. So we have to process it all.
Yeah. A lot of negative energy is an understatement. And yes, we are processing out a lot more, and we're processing it out for you guys in general. And listen, even with the negative energy, being a light worker, I would say we didn't sign up for this, but apparently at some point we did in our contracts coming here. We still have to send the light and love to all those people in negative mindsets. So, send us extra love because we totally need it. It's just frustrating, but we still have to do it anyway. I wanted to also touch base on physicalness, right? If you're physically tired, but like mentally and emotionally, I don't know how to explain this. Like your energy is high, but your physical body is just not on the same wavelength as you. Again, like lay down, take a break, like just chill and while you're laying there, I can't stress that enough, like move, things that, body parts that need to be moved while you're just like laying there and sitting down. Okay, so yes, going back to the releasing of lots of things. Again, I'm going to stress relationships that you're not meant to be in, friendships. Oh my God, I'm like lost at the other one. What's the other relationship? Hello, romantic. I'm like, why is that like gone out of my mind right now? Any romantic situation that you're in, if you're not meant to be in that, you're going to literally be ejected from it this month. So heads up.
Mm.
Um, heads up on that.
I I feel
Any
that with people,
situation.
I feel that it could even go as small as just social patterns. People that you normally socialize with that you are starting to now realize that they're just so stuck in old behavior and they're not moving forward. And it's time for you just to move out of that group. That when I was talking earlier, Nicole, about like a lot of things kind of changing, I think a lot of people are that are leveling up are going to leave a lot of that surface behavior behind.
Absolutely. I cannot disagree with that at all. It's becoming a huge factor. And I mean, what day are we in? March.
Thursday, March 6th.
Right. So we're only on March 6th.
Yeah.
So let's everyone just take a step back and like look at where you've come from like February 28th to March 6th and how much it's going to like legitimately intensify the entire month of you letting go of things, places, people, any situation that just does not serve you anymore, that just is not beneficial. And you are going to, feel even more self-love, after you do that. So, take that.
With each week, I do feel that it will intensify. Each week is going to get like a stronger vibration. Uh, so just be prepared. It's going to take us straight into April, but each week going in is going to be a stronger vibration. But in the end, just know the reason why you're going through this is and it's if you're not processing it quickly and you're holding on to things, it's going to be a harder week each week, because the whole point is that you need to release this whatever's sticking on you, and you can feel it in your heart. You'll know whatever it is, that's what needs to be released.
Yeah, detaching is a must. So I'm going to kind of reread what I read during the self-love episode because I'm just guided to. So I'm going to do that. And it kind of just, you know, taps on like shame and compassion and just, like kind of releasing, which is a very huge theme for March, in case anyone hasn't noticed that by now. Um With shame, we must offer fierce self compassion. Forgive yourself. Understand that you are human and humans are imperfect. Forgive yourself for any mistakes or shortcomings. Forgive yourself for feeling shame. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to your best friend. Practice self love. This is a broad term, but self love can be the simplest act. Engage in activities that bring you joy and make you feel loved. Cultivating self love will counteract the feeling of shame. Our spiritual practices and commitment to sacred rituals and ceremonies, which could be anything, which could be like the way that you wake up in the morning, the way that you brush your teeth and go to the gym in the morning, the way that you meditate for 5 minutes, like that can mean anything. That's called, that's considered a ritual, and a ceremony, depending on how you depict it. This is one of the best ways to transmute shame. Although it may seem like an indirect way, it is one of the loving paths we take as divine beings that provide a sense of connection and purification. With shame, it is advised to seek support. So, again, reach out if you're having a problem. I have to stop and say that right now my head is getting hot, and then that'll dissipate too. So, guys, if like if you guys are feeling anything weird, trust me, it's all March and it's all energy. Anyway, to strengthen and share your vulnerability with others, especially and offer one another freedom to release and heal the shame. So, be there for your brothers, be there for your sisters. Literally, it's everybody's going to need a little support right now. And again, self-compassion is huge. Gratitude, forgiveness, and focusing on the positive in our reality, as well as letting go of the old beliefs and ways of being that share the same dimension as our shame are the love weapons, sorry, we can use with shame as well. So basically, love on yourself, let go of shame, don't stay in that dimension, that version, that anything that's holding you back and weighing you back. It happened, you did it, it's done, move forward. You're not going to do that anymore. You're in a higher, consciousness, you're in a higher space, a higher version of yourself. And you're kind of just, it's that in itself is the huge transformative power, to get you going. And to move forward, and that's really where you kind of need to mentally hold yourself right now, and hold yourself accountable. And again, accountability in itself is huge. Knowing yourself, huge. Going into your shadows and realizing what needs to be worked on, and by worked on is really what needs to be loved, right? You need to just go back to that version of yourself, love that version of yourself, no matter if you were the victim or the initiator of that situation. Just go, go back, love that version and move forward. You have to move forward. You have to love yourself, love in that version and move forward. And that's like, a very big theme. I actually wanted to read you guys my tea label. I had posted it on Instagram, but it's master the unknown by knowing your deep self. So I kind of thought that was pretty on point, and totally a theme for March. Because the more you know yourself, the more easier it is to let go of things that do not resonate with you any longer. So, keep that in mind. Love yourself, self-love. It really is truly simple as just, waking up and doing your morning ritual, routine, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, definitely have a morning ritual before you get up and start dealing with your family members, your children,
Oh
your
God, yeah, your children,
something
your
that you do.
parents.
I usually try to, my ritual is just kind of getting up early, sneaking out of bed, having my cup of coffee on the couch for a few minutes before I just start running around like crazy doing all the house stuff. But yes, I love that message, Nicole, because it's so true. The first step to self awareness and healing is to go back and forgive ourselves for the things that we have done or the situations that we have put ourselves in. In order to heal and move forward, we have to do that. That is the first step to healing. So, if you are doing that, if you are working on yourself and you're working through shame in any reason, be proud of yourself because you are making the first step to healing. And that's what all of March is about. And it's just continuing. I know, me too. I just had a little frog in my throat. But continuing to do the work and move forward and step more on the path. If we take this month and kind of run through all the obstacles, then by the time we get to April, we are ready to walk that chosen path. But you got to go through it because if you don't, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't go through it in March, then the redo will be in April because I really feel like May is the momentum. So if you're not going to get through it in March, you're just going to continue to go through it in April. If you go through it in March, then April is going to have a lot of rewards.
I don't even know what to say about people that just don't want to do the work and where they would be at in April, to be honest. I'm sure they're gonna feel the energy at some point, but your choice. What is it? Self. Oh my God. And I say that all the time. Free will.
Free will.
Why that was gone is beyond me, but free will. And I talk about that all the time. Like
Right.
everybody has free will. You either choose to evolve or you choose not to. You could only help who you're, who's meant to, evolve at this time. Um, as far as like the energy out in the world right now, we could address that like a little bit. So, if listen, being on a real true spiritual path of divinity, you don't get to hold hatred. Yes, you could dislike somebody, right? Because we all have that feeling. But you're still sending that person love, right? If you have hatred for anything, for especially against change right now, that's a problem and you really need to look within. I'm not saying that in a nasty way because I am sending you love, right? I am still sending you light and love. We're all still sending light and love, right? It doesn't matter, but you still have to do work. There's something missing that you're missing that's triggering you to put out all this hatred, to put out these blocks, to put out like to go and go deep and like kind of just like in all this anger and hold those limiting beliefs. That's a trigger that you really need to work out and free yourself from. That's what's going to set you free. That's what's going to put you on a really pure divine path. If not, you're not on a divine path. And I'm sorry that I have to be the one to break this to you, but you are not. And, source will back me up. And that's all I need. Like, I don't need you to love me. I could care less. I'm just the messenger. Gotta love being the messenger. That's all. That's all I have to say. Um, Loving the shadow, loving your shadow self. I just spoke about this before Christy, started speaking again. Very important to love your shadow self. Very important to take accountability and realize where you are, right? So, take accountability. If you see that something's off, and find it. that's your job to find it. It's your job to find it. It's your job to heal it. It's your job to move forward, right? I mean, everybody's here to support, right? Your sisters are here to support your soul sisters, your soul family, your soul brothers, your brotherhood, what, masculine, feminine, it doesn't matter. Like everyone's here for support. You just have to be, take the accountability to go within and, like see where it's at. You really need to like, acknowledge and love those aspects of yourself, the darkness, the lightness, and kind of just swirl it into one happy union of yourself. And, it's all about coming into union right now. It's all about, and I say this all the time, it's all about relationships coming into divine union. And, that in itself is going to cause a huge ripple effect, around the world right now because it's mass producing, these divine relationships are mass producing the love around us, right? It's all about love. It's all about love, self-love, the love that you could, put out there. Again, even if you are not in a, oh my God, I can't stand this person, you kind of have to just send them light and love anyway. And like, kind of remove that aspect from you. In any situation and just keep your distance, right? Keep your distance. Um, that's another one. Keeping your distance. People, keep your distance when you just don't want to just listen to your body. If your body and your intuition is telling you, hey, don't go somewhere today or don't stay out of this place, then do it. Don't argue. Figure it out and just make that happen. I'm like going down. Listen, I was down for the count the other day, and it was just funny because I was like, there was no really, and I just had heat. Like I felt like goldness was just shooting out of every limb of me, and it was the most craziest thing that I have ever experienced. And I have experienced some crazy ass shit, but that has to be the topper for 2025 so far.
It was all that gold energy just shooting out, all that negativity, all that
Yeah, I don't even know. It was if
like
it
get
was
out of
that
my body.
or if it was like me like eating all the like the more transmuting all the yeah, you're right, yeah, transmuting the energy
Right.
totally could be.
I want to go back and talk about a little bit where we started off when people that are right now, and there's a lot of it going on where people are just so stuck in this angry, fear-based attitude, and getting, and if you're that type of person and you're getting mad and triggered by everything that's going around you, even when it has absolutely nothing to do with your personal life, ask yourself why. Why is this triggering me? Why am I getting so angry? Why am I angered by other people's opinions? We live in a world where not everybody's going to agree, and let's agree to disagree in a sense where, if that's what makes the world go round, everybody has a different opinion, and you talk about it and you discuss it. But when you're yelling and you get angry because you think your opinion is the only opinion, go within and ask yourself why am I so angry? Why do I think that I can't have another opinion than a different person? There's a reason behind that. What is that trigger? And you've got to work through that. You can't be so angry. You're going to just live your life being so angry. Why is it hurting you so badly?
Well, it's the holding on to anger also in you that's not gonna it's gonna take a physical toll on your body and like whereas we are experiencing all of these crazy symptoms, the heaviness of the hate and the anger is going to kind of cause more damaging stuff, and that's when like a lot of the cancer comes out and all of these like crazy diagnosis come out like that's all like like not saying that you obviously you get cancer because again, and we've discussed this, like women hold so much in their hearts and they don't let go, which is a huge form of breast cancer, which is spreading wildly still, unfortunately. But holding on to that anger like creates like really like negative aspects on your physical human being self, and that's not okay either. You really need to be able to process that out, um and like be and like really sit with yourself and figure out why it is again that you're being so triggered, that this is making you so angry. And don't watch the news right now. I mean, again, I stand for change, so this is great. I mean, like, look at everything that I'm experiencing physically on my physical body, and I still find this to be absolutely phenomenally great. So, I mean, change is great. This is the whole world is coming, is literally, going to back to the blueprint. And I've said this so many times, the original blueprint of, why we're here on earth and what we came here to do. So it is very exciting. So everyone, should really be excited about this. No one should be hatred and angry about this. I mean, yes, you could have your own opinions and you may not agree with every aspect of how it's going. But no one should be like anger. There shouldn't be anger and the fear, and fear causes anger. And I totally forgot. I mean, you addressed fear before. I even forgot about the fear factor. You have to let go of fear. It took me so long to release fear over everything that like I totally even forgot to bring it up, bring it up to.
Well, fear is the hardest thing to release. That's the biggest thing to release is fear. It's,
Yeah.
you can release the ego, but to release the fear, it's probably one of the hardest aspects, even as a healer, to release.
Well, I mean, it's like I think it's part of your ego. It's just like the last part hanging on. So you can check it, check the ego and still have that. You need to like completely check the ego. And oh, by far, I mean, fear is the uh the bottom line, I would think, to get released. And when I said that, I literally just got goosebumps up my
I
arm.
got goosebumps too. I felt it too.
So believe us when we say, fear is fear is not the easiest, but once it's released, it's gratifying. I don't Where did that word even come from? But like it truly is, and it kind of shapes you as a new human self, moving forward. You're not in fear, you're not in it's with a lack, and the lack mentality is a fear mentality. And there's so many, mentalities that wrap into fear. It's insane. Like everything, like your fear of relationships, your fear of abandonment, everything is fear. Everything, all those limiting
Right.
beliefs, it's all fear. So,
I think the biggest part of fear is vulnerability. And we've talked about this before. Protecting to avoid rejection, to struggle to open up, to protect your heart space.
yeah.
These that's I think that's the biggest part of fear is vulnerability.
Yeah, and why do you like stop that, right? Because it's all your limiting beliefs, it's all the trauma, right? I mean, you're afraid to be vulnerable because you don't want to be taken advantage of. You are afraid to be vulnerable because you don't, well, I guess that kind of falls into the you don't want to take advantage, but you don't want to be abandoned. You don't want to be unloved. You don't want to be because of the way that you are, because of the way that you portray yourself. When you step into your full authentic self, like your authenticity, you being your genuine true self, you don't care how people view you. You want to know why? Because you're your true self and you just don't care. Like you are being you. You have no mask on. And that's another thing of, taking off the mask, but that's fear too. But like you have no mask on. There's no more veil. There's nothing. So it's like, hey, this is me and my pureness. And if you don't like it, I don't care. This is who I am. And for anyone who's getting triggered by that is the people who have to work on themselves because they're hiding, behind their mask as well. Be vulnerable. Feminines, you hide behind that too, right? You hide behind that fear as well as masculines do. And the masculines aren't going to move out of that until the women, step into their power. And then the masculines will also, crumble, into who they are divinely meant to be as well. It's again, it's the power, the mirror effect of each other. Vulnerability, it's okay, right? Because you're not going to get hurt the same way if you've worked on yourself, because it's not going to bother you. It's not going to trigger you if somebody treats you unkind or unfairly or whatever it is that you may have thought before, because that was just a belief. And now you know that whatever they're portraying onto you is them themselves, right? Is a fear of them. It's not based on you. It has zero to do with you, actually. Anything that comes back to you by someone who that said, like their angriness, their bitterness, their nastiness is a reflection of them, not you. And like the more you understand that and embrace that, the more you really realize that, oh my God, it has nothing to do with me. It literally has something to do with the other person that's projecting all of this onto me. So don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is like the new cool and thing to do.
Vulnerability is the key, because if you can't
It
be
is.
vulnerable, you're never going to really know what you could have had,
Yeah.
in anything, in relationships, in life, in anything. You're never going to know. You've got to be vulnerable to the situation in order to be able to receive from that situation. The more we're standoffish, the more we have our heart close to the situation, the less we're going to receive. And that's when we stay in that lack mentality, because we're like, oh well, I'm not open up to receiving it. So if you're not open up to receiving it, you're not going to receive it. So you have got to let the veil down, let the guard down, and be vulnerable in situations with other
Well,
people.
yeah. And the vulnerability in the receiving, you're so that's spot on, because like in order to be I feel like I talk better with both my hands now that the I put my tea down. So Italian.
I talk low, like you can't really see my hands, but they're always moving.
Um but the point is being in receiving mode, right? So, especially with the feminines, we live in receiving mode. So, when we're not in receiving mode and we're in our masculine, which is where I've been the majority of my life, because I felt like I couldn't rely on anyone, and, I had to just do things myself. And always had to go after the prize and chase. No more chasing. The more divine feminines relax and into that receiving mode. But in general, everybody should be in receiving mode. It's source, the universe, God, will send you everything that you need. And you have to really, and that's when you're open to receiving. You have to be open to receiving. You have to be open to seeing a different point of view. You have to be open to love. You have to be open to, like embracing your shadow self, embracing those negative parts of yourself. I can't stress that enough. But being open to receive what the world is giving you, energetically. And that's big, that's huge. And I know some people like, I love when people are like, oh, spirituality, blah 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 blah. Listen, it's an energy, it's a frequency. And I will say this every episode: it is a frequency. You are either tuned in or tuned out to that radio station, right? It is a frequency, just like your Wi-Fi is, just like the electricity, just like anything else, right? That's energy. This is pure energy. We are pure energy. Anything that comes in and out, it's energy. That's all we process all the time, right? Right now, it's just coming in at a magnitude of of awareness, and just everything else coming in. It's um so we need to learn how to process it out faster, and do whatever we can to help that situation. Anything that we're there that we are recommending to take is all natural, by the way. Which is good. It's all earthbound, which will keep you grounded. Like vegetables, fruits, also, huge players in the game right now. Anything green, broccoli. I don't know. We pulled up a list the other day and there
I
was like
know.
things on it that we were like, oh shit, and we didn't even know. Like parsley is considered,
Asparagus.
asparagus. Right. Anything
Yeah.
that's green leaved anyway, like leaved, whatever, like that has green leaves. How about that? Anything that has green leaves, artichokes also, very, very like keep high on that. Keep away from the alcohol right now, keep away from the drugs. I
Well, I hope you always keep away from the drugs, but
Well, the alcohol, like don't overdo
yeah,
it on alcohol
I'm
either.
joking.
I'm trying to, I'm like, if you want to do shrooms, I guess that's okay. I'm not initiating like that's, but like if it's pure, like really pure, I would say, yeah, go for it because it's going to take you to, a higher consciousness and kind of just, you're going to be with your higher self a lot easier. Let's just put it that way. But I do not, again, recommend, I'm not saying go and do that. I'm just, like that would be like the drug of choice. I have not done it, but like not like any hallucinogenics, any like numbing drugs, I would kind of stay away from all drugs. Just how about that? I'm gonna go on record and say stay away from all drugs. But
The supplements have really been helping. I've always said, oh, I don't need to take anything. I don't need to take anything. And then within the last 3 months, I started taking supplements. And because I've always gone through a process, and we were talking about this earlier, where you go, things are bothering you, you got so much going on, and you like go to the doctor, make a doctor's appointment. They do all these different scans and tests, and like there's nothing wrong with you. And that's the story of my life. And I mean, deathly ill for over a year. I was deathly ill, and nobody could figure out what was wrong with me. And I started taking the supplements only like 3 months ago. Even after all this, I just kept looking for doctors, looking for a reason because, once again, you want a reason. Everyone wants a reason for everything or
were you
a
looking
quick
for a
fix.
logical reason to an unlogical problem?
Yes, I
Yeah.
was.
Okay, go
Because
ahead.
I was in that dire need. I was in that dire need mode where people were like, oh, try the supplement, do this. But I was like, no, I'm in so much pain. I need a quick fix. And there was never a quick fix. And it was only 3 months ago or 4 months ago when I started taking the supplements that actually started feeling so much better within my body.
Yeah, it's crazy. What it literally earthbound supplements. So anything that like literally has been on Earth for like hundreds of years, that's what I'm being guided to share and take. It's I guess it's kind of embracing Mother Earth in her, how she's shifting and in order to kind of stay on track with that, she's asking us to take this as well. Yeah, I mean, being sick is when you're trying to hold back on, not upgrading, not releasing, and that, happens to so many people. Like how many times was I laid out like just in 2024 because and I couldn't move. Like I was like, oh my God, because I couldn't let go of certain things. And once I started letting go, and the more I let go, the more I felt, lighter and better. But now, I am on all these things, supplements now to kind of contain all the energy that's going around and everything, and to kind of ground me here, in the physical form. Um, Feminines, if you have your divine masculine, that's awesome. And I like, all power to you because they really are a helping grounding mechanism. I don't even know like how else to put that. If they're in their divinity, if they're not and they're in like more of their feminine, they're really not helping you. But if they're, in their divine masculine, coming into their divine masculine, if they're evolving, let's just put it that way, they are your grounding mechanism as well. So it is extremely helpful. And again, in return, it's a 50-50 thing. It's a balanced, healthy relationship. So he may be grounding you, but like you're giving him, a more beautiful aspect of life. So, I could go down the list. I think I posted something on Instagram this morning on that. And I actually think I posted that on my personal, so I don't think anyone would see that. But it's just it's just a very nice balance. But like the masculines need us just as much as we need the masculines. And if you're telling yourself that, you don't need any, you don't need a divine feminine or you don't need a divine masculine, you're lying to yourself because the whole point is, to be balanced and work with each other in this lifetime and spread the love thoroughly. But Christy, you made a really good point about like, you're over here looking for logical explanations for things that do not have a logical explanation for, right? Response for.
Right.
I mean, like, how many
No,
times, like, have I gone? I used to get like this severe chest pains and I would go like, and this was for years, right? And then go and get X-rays, and there would be nothing wrong with me, and it would just be like because I was processing so much emotion in my heart. And it would
Right.
always be around Christmas, and it would like the holiday season. And then I, you know, put two and two together and realized, oh my God, that's why. Like I need to be able to process this out. There's no logical explanations sometimes for things. Same thing with divine counterparts. There are no logical explanations for connections when you feel different connections, when you feel like these things that you cannot explain to other people, that other people are not going to understand in the connections that you have, because there is no logical reason, there is no logical explanation, there is no logical description of what you are experiencing with that other person that anyone in a logical frame of mind, you know, can be able to comprehend. That sound correct? I don't know.
You can't comprehend these things, and everybody, we live in a world today, and obviously I'm guilty of it. I just said my story. We live in a world today where we want a quick fix, we want the answer. And so what do we do? We'll see a bunch of doctors like I did, or if you find this person and you have this connection, you go online and you're researching, and you start to, put like different things in little pockets and say, okay, this is what this is. But in reality, you got to go within yourself and say, what is this? Especially with the counterpart, because every counterpart situation is different. It's not always going to be the same. People are going to say, oh, here's the key points to this, here's the key points to that. But you have to just really be able to figure it out on your own. And that's what I went through when I was very ill. When I started to feel better, I started to realize that a lot of the stuff that I was going through at the time was my root chakra that needed to process through everything that was going on behind my back that I knew in my heart was happening, but I didn't want to see it. And it was only after leaving that situation and realizing what was going on was when I was able to start to process and really feel better. My sacral chakra and my root chakra was holding all of this angst and anxiety. And it was like, I knew it, but I didn't want to see it. And it wasn't because I couldn't see it. I knew it. I didn't want to see it. And it
Right.
was only when I started processing that I was able to realize what was really going on. So between the supplements, because I do feel like the supplements have helped, but between the supplements and between actually processing it out of my body, I now feel so much better.
I like when you said, you know, like you were totally aware of what was going on. You just didn't want to process it, deal with it. And I think like that's where a lot of people are at right now. You have the awareness, you know what's going on, but you don't want to face those demons. You don't want to face that situation. You don't want to like love on yourself. And you know, again, that goes with the shame, right? You're you're shameful because you put yourself in a situation like that. You know, you were that person. You kind of just have to go back and love on yourself, love on that situation, and move forward.
When people are taking advantage of you, you become so blind to the situation sometimes. You want to see the good in everybody, especially when you are a light worker or a
Oh,
healer. You want to see the good in
empathic.
everybody,
And you're
and
empathic.
you do. You see people on a different level. So that's why it says you always say, "Oh, send love and light to people," is because you do see them on another level where they could be. But unfortunately, when they're not on that level, it takes us, I feel like, a little bit longer, like, because we know, right, we know it, but we don't want to see it, so it takes us longer to process that, I believe, anyway.
Yeah, oh yeah, I just totally like, you know, took one deep breath in and like kind of let it all out while you were saying that. So I was like, oh, do it, don't I know it? Again, so let's address that for a second because you know, being able to read someone's higher self and their potential, right, to get there. And then that person in reality, right, in a 3D physical reality is not that person, right? And wants to refuses to do the work and, you know, stays stuck as we call it, but there's really no such thing as stuck. It's just a belief system. You know, it's hard, and it's especially even harder, you know, for people that are empathic and that can see that because, you do see that vision, right? And you can see a world with that person at a different, on a different version, at a different potential. And to let go of that is very hard for a healer as well, because you do have that healing energy, you do have that healing power, and that's what you're at. Just feminines in general have that, that energy that pushes off to push the masculine to heal. um and it's hard to shut that down. Feminines in general have healing powers, to other feminines as well. Yeah, feminines are more natural healers. We were just born like that. It's how it is. I'm not gonna like say, like, oh, it's great to be a feminine. I mean, of course it is, or it's great to be a masculine, because if you're in your divine polarity, whatever it is, it's great to be you anyway. It's great to be your true self, but I'm just saying feminines were born with more natural healing abilities.
And feminines, we need to step into that a lot more with other feminines. We really need to be each other's, cheerleaders. And so there's so much jealousy amongst females. We don't need to be that way. We need to be happy and proud of our sisters, to work together to create something bigger than ourselves. And if we can't do it on a personal level, let's be excited for our divine feminines who are doing that, and sending them love and light instead of being jealous or angry that you're not on their level.
The fakeness. Welcome
Mhm.
to the fakeness. The fakeness at one point will get, tiring for you if you are, doing the work and evolving on yourself. There will be so many people. And again, that's, Christy talked about this in the beginning of the episode. The falling off of relationships, right? Any type of relationship, the falling off of friends. Friends are going to be falling, one, two, three. People that you socialize with are going to be falling off, one, two, three. When you're doing the work, you're going to realize how fake many people are right now. And again, they have the choice to level up and evolve. By then, sorry, I'm scratching all over. Sorry, so itchy. Um, everybody let me get back to, everybody has the choice to level up and and evolve and do the work on themselves. If they are not on your level at this time, you have to say goodbye. You have to level up, you have to go, you have to continue on your journey, your personal journey. It's going to bring you so much joy, so much pure, like, abundance and prosperity on so many levels, not just material, but like in all aspects of life. Those people have the chance to level up with you. Always hold space, right? Always hold the love and the space for those people, but you have to disconnect at this time, and you have to like let yourself level up, or you're going to make yourself stuck. And you don't want to do that, because it is, again, going to take a physical toll on you, and not in a good way. Releasing all aspects of, like your prior self, the prior versions of yourself, all the karmic lessons, like all just embracing everything, learning your lessons, like, it's basically, like learning, like loving your shadow self. I cannot stress that enough. It's like it's a part of you. Everything is a part of you, and just, being able to step into that higher version of you, which is ever so evolving anyway. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to step into the highest version of myself and never have to do any work. That's bullshit. I still have to work. Welcome to spirituality. Um, whoever said it's easy is bullshitting you completely.
Never ending
Um,
cycle.
right?
Never ending cycle of growth. It's all for good, but it's never ending cycle of growth. Um, but that's what I wanted to say too about the empaths, like what you were talking about and what I said earlier about being able to let go. As an empath, you've got to let these people go. You cannot save them. You cannot heal them. That's what free will is all about. We've talked about this in multiple episodes. You cannot make somebody else do their work. They've got to do it. Hold space. If they come, they come. If they decide to stay stuck in free will, then unfortunately that's where they'll stay. You have got to move forward. And I know as an empath you see it, so if it's resonating with you, you know why.
Let's talk about the empaths who know that they're empaths but stay in a dark side, and use that to their advantage. That would be your narcissist.
Yes.
That would be your female narcissist, because there are, or the masculine narcissist, which is, well, actually, I would say is more common, but now the feminines are stepping into that narcissism very well as well. When you are empathic and you are not doing, and you obviously, you're empathic and you're leading in a not so genuine frame of existence. It's a way to put it. I don't even know. Um, you're leading with narcissism, and you're not leading. That is not being genuine. That is not being truthful to yourself. That is not you honoring yourself. And that's not honoring your gift either, because it is a gift to be empathic. Technically, I think it's not that I think we all are empathic. We are all able to, telepathically read each other and hear each other. It's just some of us know how to use the gift, more than others. And we all have that ability to step in and fully learn how to use that gift as well, and harness that ability. But at the moment, some of us seem to be using that, at a different angle. There's no need for that. And if you, when you do come, in contact with that, like, and you're realizing, like, how does the narcissist know me so well? Like, how could he read me? How could he this or she read me, or know how to trigger me so well? It's because they're empathic. It's because they could read you. They're just using their gifts in a, in a not so genuine way, which will come back and, and severely bite them in the ass. And I will be the first one to throw that out there and say that, which I'm sure like other, readers have said that as well, and channelers. And I know that that's like a big theme also coming into play, is that everybody will, eventually get their ass handed to them in a nice, lovely way. But just putting that with a smile.
Well, I personally think the narcissist knows you so well because he studies you. The narcissist becomes whoever you are.
Yeah.
They study you, they study your likes, they study your dislikes, and they have the ability to become who you want them to be. And this is where the empath gets stuck. Like you always hear about the empath and a narcissist. The empath gets stuck in these patterns because, like I said, they see the higher self of the narcissist. And when they are doing all these things, the empath gets stuck for a minute, not too long. She'll get stuck thinking that they're doing the work when really they're just manipulating the situation. So many people get confused too, because there's a lot of narcissistic behavior, not actually a narcissist, but narcissistic behavior in people that are, pushed by their ego. So they do share a lot of similarities, but
That's a very good, yeah, that
they really do. And I think so many people throw the word narcissist around way too often. A lot of times they're talking about somebody who's stuck in their ego, somebody who's ego driven. They have an ego driven behavior. They get,
egotistical.
yeah, they get caught up in, attachments to identity and status, and they become that. I think the main way to find out the difference between a narcissist and a person that's ego driven is if they conform to you, then they're usually narcissists. If they never conform to you, then they're ego driven, because an ego driven person will never pretend to be somebody else.
Well, they'll pretend to be somebody else, but not fully pretend to be you. How about that? Um, because they also are wearing a mask. But I think in today's
But they're
society,
more caught up. I feel like the ego driven person is more caught up in their personal status and
yeah,
identity
and that's what you
than
like
you.
99% of the time will, run into, I would say, these in the 3D reality today. I also want to address a point that was just brought up to me, is that and as I was reading this, is also, do not get this confused with like your soul family. So a soul mate, right? So a soul sister, a soul counterpart, a soul brother, whatever, soul family, is when somebody genuinely knows, and you will know the difference when they genuinely know what you like, what your interests are, which is basically the same thing, and I just reiterated that. Like how to make you feel good, how to lift you up, like there's a difference, right? There is a difference between, and you will sense it, right? And I think now more, people are becoming aware of this, like, faster than they would have years ago. The difference between a narcissist, right? Even if you're just a narcissist that has the tendencies, a person with the narcissistic tendencies, which is extremely common these days, or, which is, but coming at you ungenuine, whereas your soul family and somebody, even if you just met, right, your soul tribe, somebody from your soul tribe will know, like your likes and dislikes right away, right? Will know how to speak to you in the right way, will know your flow because they're your soul tribe, they're your soul family. So, but that'll come across completely genuine and authentic. So you have to know, the difference between somebody who, is trying to get your attention and win you over versus somebody who's being genuine and really knows how you flow and, how your life goes. But be aware that there's a huge difference, right? One's genuine, one is not.
Yeah, you feel it though. You feel it when you meet like
You
your
definitely
soul
feel it. Go
tribe.
for it.
You
Yeah.
feel that connection before you even speak to them. Like when I met you for the first time, we were standing by the fence at the baseball game, and I just instantly was like drawn to you. I want to conversate with you. I want to talk to you, and we had a lot of things in common. But there's a difference behind that with somebody who's trying to, you know, become you for whatever reason. You feel a difference. You don't have that same feeling towards them. They kind of come towards you, they gravitate towards you more than you kind of gravitate towards them.
Well, there's also not an equal give and take of energy in those situations. So it's
Oh
like
yeah.
you're standoffish. And again, like you could be standoffish because you think, oh, your walls are up, right? And that's why your walls are up. And because you're trying to avoid situations like that. That's kind of like going against your vulnerability. Always stand in your vulnerability, right? But just lead with energy. So if somebody's coming up to you, right, in any situation, romantic, platonic. I was like, why am I missing words today? In a platonic or romantic situation, whenever somebody comes up, read the energy first. Always stand in your vulnerability. Always stand in your authenticity, your true, genuine self, right? Always stand in that. Read the energy. Go with your intuition. If the person coming up to you, if you feel your body, if your body feels a little off, if it feels like ew, then they're not being genuine. No matter what comes out of their mouth, it's not genuine. It is not pure energy. So you just like, okay, okay, and kind of like excuse yourself out of the situation. Know the difference. Completely know the difference. If somebody, coming up to you and you feel the energy and you're just like, oh, okay, this is weird. Then kind of go with the energy, like go with it, but never shut yourself down. You could close yourself down if you feel the energy is off, most definitely, right? And that's when you excuse yourself. But always leave yourself open and vulnerable to receive anything that's coming. Again, feel the energy. If the energy is off, your body's like, like tensing up or whatever, and not in a good way, not tensing up like, ooh, this guy's hot. It's not a or this girl's hot, whatever. It's a different type of tensing up. Anything that your body feels off with, obviously, again, you're staying in your true self, you're just putting an energetic block up. So totally different. You're not shutting yourself down, you're putting an energetic block up. Be aware. You guys have to be aware of what's coming at you these days. And again, totally different from where you would have noticed this a year ago versus right now. So energy is very potent, right? I can't stress it
Yeah,
enough in March.
it's
So
very potent. And your body, I always say, like, listen to your intuition. That's your body talks. Your body feels it first. Your body's going to feel it before your mind. So listen to what your body says. Don't listen to what your mind says to like turn that off. If your body feels a certain way, listen to how your body feels. That's the number one sign something is not right or it is right.
right, is triggered in your body.
In your body first.
Let's go with safety. If you feel safe in someone's energy, huge difference, right? So that's when your body is very relaxed. And that could be somebody who just literally just walked past you on the street. And then all of a sudden your body will just like, go, I wouldn't say flat, but like, very relaxed and at ease. That's safe energy, right? Feeling safe in any situation is obviously going to increase your vulnerability and increase your receiving mode as well. But it's going to trigger in you that you could be safe. You could, all the guards could come down. If you don't feel safe in any situation, even if you love that person, if you do not feel safe, get out of that situation. And it may take you a little bit, but you have to get out of that situation. You are not going to progress in that situation until you are in a situation where you feel safe. And even if that situation, requires you to be by yourself, you have to be safe in your surroundings, in your space, in your energetic field. You have to feel safe. You have to feel secure. You have to feel, like you have stability. That all comes from within you, right? So when you feel that inside you, you will be able to find that outside you. So the second that somebody's coming in, right? That's not genuine, that's not bringing safety, that's not bringing stability, you will be able to feel that 1 2 right, and then literally it'll be like 1 2 3, like the closer they get you'll be like, oh my god. Like you're either going to be like, yes, come, you're like, I allow you to come closer, or oh my god, I'm going to get the fuck up out of here like right now.
Very, very true. Very true.
Okay. How are we feeling? Are we feeling good? I don't even know like what to close out on for the I mean, we'll be back next week, but like next week
I
we the eclipse
I
and
feel like we're not going to close out on this topic right away anyway. I mean, the energy is just going to continue to intensify. So I believe that we've talked about everything that we wanted to talk about for today. I did want to talk more about the masculine, but maybe we'll keep that for next week.
okay.
I did want to get a little bit more into the masculine energy, how a lot of the masculines are kind of stuck in that ego-based mentality right now,
It's funny
and
that you wanted to
how
bring up the masculines. Look at you.
I
That's
know
my thing.
I was going to, but I think we'll save that for next week because it is pretty in depth, and we'll get a little bit more into the masculine's energy.
Okay, maybe like the energy will be more next week. I say that laughingly. But it'll be a different energy. So you never know. It will definitely be different than this week. It'll still be magnified on a multitude of levels, but it'll be different. So it should be interesting. Yeah. So hopefully we'll be back before the full moon. If not before the full moon, on the full moon, hopefully before retrograde. I don't know like what dates actually fall on the days, but hang in there, guys. I'm going to list the supplements below that you guys should take. Again, wiggle anything out, dance around, go running, go jogging, go walking, go to spin class, anything to really get the energy flowing out of you. Yoga to release stuck emotions, but at this point, I think we're more into moving a lot. And
Moving
not
a lot,
a lot.
releasing the endorphins, releasing that pent up energy that everybody's feeling. So without a doubt, like Nicole said, do that. I also want to add that I am going to start. I started last week, but I am going to start posting the angel message and affirmation, so you can go back and read it. You don't have to keep rewinding to listen to it. You can go back and read it. So I will start doing that as well with each episode.
Which I actually love, especially the affirmations that follow. Like it's like a very nice, and then you get to repeat them to yourself, which is also a very nice trigger for us to awaken whatever it is that's meant to awaken in our body as well. Keep that into, consideration. It's actually not a trigger, it's an activation. All of these episodes that we bring, at some point, it's either our voices or what we say have activations in them. So keep that in mind too. It's awakening something and activating something in you as well. We bring these to you with pure joy, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.